Hey there everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to Empathy Coaching Headquarters. Yep, here I am in my office. It is full of books, it's full of Lego and inspiration and Funko Pops and action figures, because that's how I roll. And look, I'm dropping in because it's the 1st of February. The first month of the year is done. Level 1 complete. That's right, January, whoosh, and it's gone. So look, I'm checking in. How are you doing? How has it been? How are you progressing through this year? How did January treat you? And the reason I ask is because, a lot of people go into the new year with really heartfelt, positive, genuine intention. Intention to improve things, change things, overcome things, achieve things. And, there's the old traditional New Year's resolution, but let's be honest, New Year's resolutions last about 2 weeks and then, they all go by the wayside. But a lot of people do have this kind of intent to, be better, do better. So where are you with that? I mean, if you made no intention whatsoever, it probably isn't for you. But there are two kind of camps right now. There are the people that got clear on what it was that they wanted, and they've been taking that consistent action to make it happen. And if that's you, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to cover both camps, but I'm going to be honest with you, the people that are really taking the action and making the progress, they are in the minority. They really are. And I'll explain why in a minute. But if that's you, keep going. Well done, you. Just look back, use this time just to reflect back on January. Where were you at the end of last year, on the 1st of January? What action have you taken? What momentum have you built? What results have you got? What progress are you making? What I've discovered on my journey is that very often the progress is made up of inching forward every day. It's the small, consistent things that we're doing day in, day out that make all the difference. That the compound effect of those over the course of a year, you can be, unrecognizable from where you started if you do that day in, day out. It's those small improvements, and those then help the bigger changes, the bigger improvements. Sometimes you leap forward, but you don't just leap forward just because you say so. You leap forward because you've been creating those opportunities because of the progress you're making. So if that's you, amazing. I want to give you a word of warning, because February is a really important month for you. Really important month for you. If you've been making all this progress, if you've been taking action, fantastic. Here's a couple of things that can trip us up, even when we're clear on what it is that we want to improve, want to change, want to overcome, want to achieve, and we're making that progress. February, it can get a little sticky. Here's why. Some people get bored. They get bored. They're doing these things, whatever the action is. Again, this could be any area of life. It can be to do with that balance you have in life between work and family, more you time, more family time. It can be your fitness, it can be your health, your relationships, your money, your business. It can be anything in life. What can happen is, we set off with that good intention, we're making some progress, we're doing those consistent steps, and we can kind of get a little bored. Because our progress is made out of sometimes the boring stuff, the small stuff, the consistent stuff on an ongoing basis. But maybe it's not the most exciting stuff, but man, over time does that give you some amazing results, some amazing outcomes. But if we let February grab us and go, oh, it's a bit boring now, often that can be a catalyst for people then falling off the wagon and not getting back on. Now, you can, depending on what it is, you can spice up what those actions are. You can make it more exciting. You can look forward to it. And at the very least, have the outcome in mind as to why you're doing this in the first place. Because that's reason enough for you to carry on. So boredom is one thing. The second thing is that sometimes we're taking the action, but we're not making the big progress that we'd really like. I mean, one of the obvious examples is like fitness. It's like, do you really see results after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe even 5 or 6 weeks? Sometimes you don't. Now, you might feel better, You are definitely fitter if you've been putting the work in. But sometimes we don't give ourselves credit for that. And it happens in any area of life. We almost negate how far we've come because it's just these small incremental things. And we're either then get bored or we go look at it and go, but I'm not there yet. Because in this world where everything's on demand and, social media is like at a click of a button, you can have some, a like or a comment or, everything's instant. Well, the real world isn't like that. We've got to put the time and the effort in, and sometimes the results come over time. In fact, the best results come over time. We've got to just remember that. And again, have that, what's the outcome we're looking for here? And it makes it worth it. So for everyone who's been making some progress, who's been putting in the work, who had an intention to change, improve, overcome, achieve something, and you're making that progress, be mindful of the two traps we can get into in February: boredom and not giving ourselves enough credit for the progress we're making. Don't let those two things make you give up. Yeah, have the outcome in mind, make the journey exciting, because it ain't about the destination. I know it's corny, I know a lot of people say it, but it's not. It's about the journey, because trust me, the closer you get to your destination, whatever that might be, new opportunities, you're going to redefine what that looks like. It's not going to be what it is that you set out, because you're now further forward and there's more possibilities. Now, that's the excitement of it. So that's for everybody who's been making some progress, and I hope that's really helpful. And I'm going to share with you in just a moment a framework that can really help you. So let's just go through to the people that had that intention, but they're now looking at it and going, where did January go? What happened there? Right? And I know there's a lot of people, vast majority of people that had those intentions, that this is where they sit. They go, oh my goodness. And, I'm going to beat you up about this. I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. It's okay. It happens. The excitement of Christmas and the new year kind of calms down, and then we get into the business and everything's reset, and we're looking at the year ahead, and we've got new objectives, and we don't even know how we're going to meet those because they're higher than the ones we had last year. And we nearly burnt ourselves out doing that last year, and the kids are back to school and the after school clubs and the homework and and then you wanted to do this thing on top of that. It's like, right? It happens. Okay, here's the good news. I know that it can feel like it's all neat and tidy when you start at the beginning of the year. It's like a whole year ahead of you. I'm starting with good intention. I start this year. I know what that feels like. But the reality is, the good news is, you can make a choice to improve, to develop, to grow, to change, to overcome, to achieve. You can make a decision, a choice to do that at any time. At any time. So if January didn't quite go to that plan, we're not going to throw away the plan. This is what most people do. They have that intention, they don't make the progress in January, and then by February, they're not even trying. It's like, no, it was important then. Chances are it's important now. Again, I'll come on to a framework that can really help you with this. But one of my favorite quotes from actually my coach and one of my mentors is, when would now be a good time? Right? When would now be a good time to start? Okay, didn't start in January. Whatever. But we can make a choice to start now. And if you start now, imagine how much progress you might make at the end of the month, in March, April, May, June, rather than not making any progress, going, well, I didn't start in January. So make February the starting now. And it's okay to do that. And I want to share with you this framework that can really help, whether you've been making the progress to help keep you on track, or if you didn't quite make that progress, but you have the intention to go, I do want to get better balance in my life. I do want to spend more time with my partner and my children. I want to spend some more time for me, doing things that light me up. I want to work on my fitness. I want to work on my health. I want to work on my finances and my money. I want to work on my business, whatever it might be, my relationship, whatever it might be. And you go, right, no, I do. And it is important. Here's a really simple framework that I love this framework, and it can really, really help you. And it's something that I use with anybody, all my clients. I use it at my events to really dial in. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's the 3 W's, okay? It's the 3 W's. Again, power of 3, really easy to remember. The first is what? And not what is it that you want. You know, often think, I want a car, or I want to feel fitter, I want to stress less, I want more time with my family. That's a good starting point. Go deeper. What is the outcome that you're looking for? What does that look like? If you want to spend more, if you want a better balance, for example, in your life between work and your family life, what does it look like? What does your working day look like, feel like, smell like, taste like? What is it like? How does it feel? How much more calm or confident or in control do you feel? What are your working hours? Much less than probably what you're already working. How does it feel to leave work feeling really in control and feeling like you've made a big difference that day? What does it feel to walk through the door of your house? How do you greet your partner, your children? What do you then do with them? What do you spend time with your children? What do you do? Again, what does that feel like? What is that like? The whole sensory experience. And then you have tea together, and they go to bed, and you spend time with your partner, and what do you do then? What connection time do you have? What time do you go to bed? Hell of a lot earlier than maybe you have been, because you've been working until 2 o'clock in the morning. Really get a sense of what it feels like. That is very different. Painting that picture so that it is, you can feel it. Painting that picture is so powerful, because your brain will then figure out how you can do it. It will be attracted to the things that can make that happen. But if we just go, I just want better balance, it doesn't know what that means. There's nothing to attach it to. There's no visual, there's no feeling to that. So what is so important? This is why most resolutions go by the wayside. I want to get fitter. That didn't inspire anybody ever. I want to work on my health and fitness so that I can run around the garden and chase my kids around and hoist them above my head without getting out of breath, without putting my back out. Well, that's different. Also tells you what kind of fitness you need. What is so, so important. So figure out the what and go deep into that. What's the outcome that you're looking for? The second W. The second W is why. Why do you want that outcome? And again, not the first surface level thing. Oh, because I just want to get fit because I've neglected myself. Or I just don't want to be working so many hours. Don't want to be so stressed as I was last year. That's a good start. I got a framework that I use, which is 7 levels deep. Keep asking yourself 7 times. You go, well, why is that important? Oh, and you answer, and you go, and why is that important? You go, well, it's important because, yeah, but why is that important? Well, that's important because you keep doing that 7 times, you will get to a really emotional reason as to why it's important. It's not I could have, I should have, I could have, not even I need to. It's I must. Get to the reason why this is an absolute must for you to achieve, improve, overcome. A must, but you've got to ask yourself why and go really deep into that. If you've got a super clear what and you've got a super clear, passionate, emotional why, that is enough to get you through. You'll figure out how. Because here's the third W, and people get the letters mixed up, right? They get the letters mixed up. Often people go, what, why, and then how do I do it? And the trouble is they howl over themselves, because then they go, oh, how am I going to find the energy to do that? How am I going to find the time to do that? How am I going to find the money to do that? And before you know it, they're stuck. They don't make any progress. It's not how. Rearrange the letters of how. Give you a moment. The third W is who. So with that clear what, with that clear why, now go and find out who can help you, who's been there, who's done it, who's achieved it, who's 10 steps ahead of you, who's living that life, who's got that relationship, who's overcome that challenge, who's improved that thing, who's changed that thing, who's already done it, and they're willing to help you and share with you how they did it. And this is really, really important, because when you find who can help you, it's going to do a couple of things. It's going to save you a heck of a lot of time. A heck of a lot of time. You try and figure this out yourself in a world where we've got more resources than we've ever had in history. How many articles, how many videos, how many programs, how much stuff are you going to go through and try? And this is the other thing about trial and error. How much are you going to go through? How long is it going to take you to figure it out yourself? Whereas if somebody's already done it, they can show you what's already worked, what worked for them, and you can follow in their footsteps. And maybe not all the steps are going to help, but my goodness, you're going to make progress quicker. So this is really, really important. Go and find who, because they can save you time. And along with that, saves you energy. It saves you pain, suffering, trial, error, because the longer anything takes you, it gets frustrating. And it's really, really easy. Actually, there's a third benefit of this. It's really, really easy, if you're doing this by yourself, to fall off the wagon, to go off track, to get distracted, to get bored, to not give yourself credit for the progress that you've made and then just give up. It is so easy, because it takes such immense, monumental, Herculean discipline to do these sorts of things by yourself, to make change, to make improvement, to grow, to develop, to overcome challenges, to achieve things. It takes Herculean discipline, day in, day out, and consistency of action to make those things happen. If you've got a who, if you've got somebody there to help you, not only can they save you time, because you're going to do the things that actually work, not only are they going to save you all that pain, suffering, trial and error and frustration, they'll also be able to keep you on track. Because yes, life will happen. Yes, there will be distractions. Life sometimes hits us sideways. Business hits us sideways. The economy hits us sideways. Illness happens. Stuff happens. And very often when that happens, even with the best intention and all the what and the whys, and sometimes life knocks us off track, and it does it to such an extent that it keeps us off track. But if you've got a who, if you've got somebody there that's been there, they've done it, they know about these things, they know how it feels to get knocked off track, and they can help you get back on track. They can remind you of why this is so important, what that outcome was, because sometimes we lose track of that in the busyness of life. They're there to help you, support you, and remind you, and keep you on track, to keep you making progress. So look, my friends, this is what I wanted to come in with today. I really wanted to help you. It's February, and whether this is the start now of you with that intention, that promise that you made yourself to change, to improve, to develop, to grow, to overcome, to achieve, whatever it might be in any area of life. If now's the time you're going to start, permission granted, go for it, do it, and use that framework. What, why, and who. And if you're already making progress, go you, fantastic, carry on. And use the what, why, and who framework to keep you from that boredom and giving up, or not seeing the results you want and giving up, or even, indeed, as it's so easy to do, get knocked off track and get distracted. So I hope this serves you. I hope it's helped you. This is a framework that has helped me enormously, and it is my foundation for anything then that I want to do. Get clear on these three things, and works for me, works for my clients, works for so many people that I do events with. So I hope you can find, purpose in this and use in this. And I would love to hear, right? I'm not prying, I'm not being nosy. But if you use this and go, you know what, man, I'm going to get clear on my what and my why and my who. Write down in the comments, what are those things? I'd love to hear. And if you find the who, give them a shout out. Reach out to them. Say, hey, I think this is the person that can help. Not only will it help keep you accountable, so you get excited about what it is that you want to do, but you'll also inspire others. You'll inspire others to do that for them, to share. And together, we'll build that most extraordinary life, that best version of you, so that you can have an amazing and extraordinary 2023. And I know it's possible. I know it's in you. So I look forward to catching up with you soon. I look forward to reading your comments, and let me know what you think. And let's go and rock February.